English football is dying, and the thing that's killing it, the exact same thing that saved it 30 years ago. In 1992, English football was a joke. Crumbling stadiums, hooligans running wild, players earning less than doctors, teams going bankrupt left and right. Then something changed. Money poured in, massive amounts of it, and suddenly England had the best league in the world. But here's what nobody saw coming. That same money would tear the sport apart from the inside. This is the story of how English football got rich, got good, and then lost its soul. Let's go back to 1989, Hillsborough. 96 Liverpool fans crushed to death in a stadium that shouldn't have been hosting matches. The infrastructure was falling apart. The stadiums were death traps. Fences caged fans in like animals because hooliganism was out of control. English clubs were banned from Europe after the Heysel disaster in 1985, where 39 people died before a European Cup final. The national team was a joke. The players were drinking and smoking like it was a Sunday league. This wasn't just bad, this was rock bottom. Football in England was genuinely dying. Attendance was dropping. Clubs were going under. Bradford City's stadium caught fire in 1985, killing 56 people. These weren't isolated incidents. This was systematic failure. The government was seriously considering identity cards for fans. Margaret Thatcher wanted to treat football supporters like criminals. Television barely cared. The coverage was terrible. The money was pathetic. The biggest clubs in England were earning less from TV rights than a single NBA team. Players had to work second jobs. Peter Beardsley, one of England's best players, was making about £30,000 a year. You could earn more as a decent accountant. Then came the Taylor Report in 1990. After Hillsborough, Lord Justice Taylor investigated and basically said English football needed to completely rebuild or shut down. All-seater stadiums, proper safety, massive investment, but where was that money supposed to come from? The clubs were broke. The Football League was stuck in the past. The big teams knew they were the ones people wanted to watch, but they were splitting TV money with 92 clubs. So they did something radical. They broke away. 1992. 22 clubs resigned from the Football League and formed the Premier League. This wasn't just a rebranding, this was a revolution. They negotiated their own TV deal. BSYB offered £304 million over 5 years. That was insane money back then. More than 10 times what the old First Division was getting. Suddenly English football had cash, real cash, the kind of money that could actually fix things. And at first it worked perfectly. Stadiums got rebuilt. Arsenal moved from Highbury's terraces to a modern ground. United expanded Old Trafford. Liverpool renovated Anfield. These weren't just improvements. These were total transformations. The death traps became world-class venues. Families could actually attend matches without fearing for their lives. The hooliganism started to fade because the new stadiums had seats, cameras, and actual security. The football got better too, way better. Foreign players started arriving. Eric Cantona came to Manchester United in 1992 and changed everything. Dennis Bergkamp joined Arsenal. Gianfranco Zola went to Chelsea. Suddenly England wasn't just importing players. It was importing a new way of playing football. Technical skill, tactical intelligence, professionalism. English players had to step up or get left behind. The training improved, the coaching improved. Sports science became a thing. Players stopped showing up hungover. The drinking culture that had defined English football for decades started dying out. These were legitimate athletes now, not just tough guys who could kick a ball. And the money kept growing. Every TV deal got bigger. 1997, £670 million. 2001, 1.6 billion. 2004, 1.02 billion. 2007, 2.7 billion. By 2016, the Premier League was signing TV deals worth over £5 billion for 3 years. Let me put that in perspective. In 1992, the entire TV deal was £300 million for 5 years. By 2016, that same period would be worth over £8 billion. The growth wasn't just exponential, it was astronomical. And for a while, everyone benefited. Players got rich, really rich, but they deserved it. They were performing at the highest level. The clubs got rich. They could afford better facilities, better medical care, better everything. The fans got to watch incredible football in safe, comfortable stadiums. The Premier League became the most watched sports league in the world. English football went from embarrassing to excellent in less than a decade. This was the golden age. Late 90s, early 2000s, Manchester United winning trebles, Arsenal going unbeaten for an entire season, Chelsea rising under Mourinho. Liverpool's miracle in Istanbul. These weren't just good teams. These were legendary teams creating legendary moments. But something else was happening too. Something nobody was really paying attention to. The gap was growing. In 1992, the difference between the richest club and the poorest club in the top division wasn't that massive. Everyone was broke, so everyone was relatively equal. But as the TV money increased, the distribution model meant the big clubs got bigger way faster than the small clubs. Champions League money made it worse. The top 4 clubs were earning tens of millions extra every year just for qualifying. That money bought better players. Better players meant more success. More success meant more Champions League money. It was a cycle that fed itself. And then the real money arrived. Foreign ownership. Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea in 2003 for £140 million and immediately spent another £300 million on players. That was insane. No club in England had ever spent like that. He treated Chelsea like a toy, bought whoever he wanted, fired managers whenever he felt like it, won back-to-back titles. Other owners noticed, if you had enough money, you could just buy success. Manchester City got taken over by Sheikh Mansour in 2008. The Abu Dhabi United Group had basically unlimited money. They spent £1 billion in 5 years. Won the title in 2012. Built a dynasty. This is where the cracks really started to show. See, the money that saved English football in 1992 was TV money. That was clean. That was the market saying people want to watch this product, so here's what it's worth. Everyone understood that. But this new money was different. This was oil money, oligarch money, state money. It had nothing to do with football. These owners weren't investing because they loved the sport or wanted to build something sustainable. They were investing because owning a Premier League club gave them influence, reputation, and soft power. Abramovich wasn't just a Russian businessman anymore. He was the guy who owned Chelsea. Sheikh Mansour wasn't just representing Abu Dhabi. He was the savior of Manchester City. And the football authorities let it happen because they were addicted to the money too. The Premier League became more valuable with every big takeover. The TV deals got bigger because the league was more competitive. More competitive meant more viewers. More viewers meant more money. Everyone was winning, right? Except they weren't. The smaller clubs started getting left behind. Properly left behind. Burnley, Brighton, Brentford could all have incredible seasons, finish in the top 10, and still earn less from TV rights than the team that finished 20th. Why? Because the distribution model was weighted toward historical success and international appeal. The Big Six clubs had negotiated deals that protected their income even if they finished mid-table. Newcastle, Everton, Villa, these traditional big clubs started struggling because they couldn't compete financially anymore. They couldn't outspend City or Chelsea. They couldn't offer the wages United or Liverpool could. So they got stuck in this weird middle ground. Too big to accept mediocrity, too small to actually challenge for anything meaningful. The championship became a nightmare. Clubs were spending way beyond their means trying to reach the Premier League because the financial reward was so enormous. Get promoted and you'd earn at least £100 million in your first season just from TV money. That kind of incentive made clubs reckless. Leeds, Portsmouth, Bolton, these clubs nearly went extinct chasing Premier League money. And then financial fair play came in. Except it didn't really work. It was supposed to stop clubs from spending money they didn't have. But City had money, lots of it. So they just inflated sponsorship deals from companies connected to their owners. UEFA investigated, found them guilty, banned them from Europe, and then City appealed and got the ban overturned on a technicality. The message was clear. If you're rich enough, the rules don't apply. The fans started noticing. This wasn't their sport anymore. Ticket prices kept rising. The average Premier League ticket cost over £30. Want to take your family to a match? That's over £100, and that's before food, travel, programs. The working class fans who had supported these clubs for generations were getting priced out. Replaced by tourists and corporate guests who didn't sing, didn't care, just wanted a selfie at halftime. The atmosphere died in a lot of stadiums. Old Trafford used to be terrifying for away teams. Now it's quiet except when something dramatic happens. The Emirates is called the library because it's so silent. These stadiums seat 60,000 people but feel empty because half the crowd is just there for the experience, not the football. And the football itself started changing. Not always for the better. Teams with money could afford to make mistakes. Sign a player for $50 million and he flops? Fine, sign another one. Smaller clubs had to be perfect with every signing because they couldn't afford to waste money. That imbalance meant the big clubs could hoard talent. City has 2 world-class players for every position. They literally have internationals who can't get game time. Meanwhile, Luton Town is shopping in the bargain bin, hoping to find someone decent. The competitiveness everyone praised was an illusion. Between 2010 and 2024, only 5 clubs won the Premier League. City won it 8 times. United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Leicester once each. That's it. 5 clubs in 14 years. And Leicester was such a freak occurrence that people made movies about it. The same few clubs finishing top 4, the same few clubs getting Champions League money, the same few clubs getting richer. It became predictable, boring even. Then came the Super League. April 2021. 12 clubs, including 6 from England, announced they were forming a breakaway competition, a closed league where they'd compete against each other every year, guaranteed hundreds of millions in revenue, no relegation, no consequences, just pure profit. The backlash was instant and furious. Fans protested outside stadiums, players spoke out, pundits destroyed the idea on live TV. Within 48 hours, the English clubs backed out. But the damage was done. The masks were off. These owners didn't care about the sport. They didn't care about history or competition or fairness. They cared about money. That's it. And here's the thing that really hurts. They weren't even wrong from a business perspective. The Super League made financial sense. Guaranteed income, global audience, maximum profit. But football isn't supposed to be just a business. It's supposed to mean something. That's what the money ruined, the meaning. In 1992, when the Premier League started, you could still believe football was about the fans, the communities, the history. The money was there to save the sport, not exploit it. But somewhere along the way, it flipped. The sport became secondary to the business. The fans became customers, the clubs became brands, the players became assets. Newcastle got bought by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund in 2021. Saudi Arabia, the same country with one of the worst human rights records on the planet, and Newcastle fans celebrated, not because they support what Saudi Arabia does, but because they knew what that money meant. Finally, they could compete again. Finally, they could challenge the big clubs. Finally, they mattered. That's how broken it's become. Fans have to choose between their morals and their club's success. And the success is so expensive now that only the most controversial money can afford it. Meanwhile, lower league clubs are dying. Bury FC, founded in 1885, expelled from the Football League in 2019 because they ran out of money. Bolton nearly followed. Wigan went into administration. Derby almost ceased to exist. These aren't small clubs. These are historic institutions with over a century of history. But they couldn't survive in a system designed to funnel all the money to the top. The pyramid that made English football special is collapsing. The idea that any club could theoretically climb from the bottom to the top is a joke now. Wrexham's doing it because Ryan Reynolds has Hollywood money. Forest Green, Salford, they've all had rich owners funding their rise. Without that external money, you're stuck. Work as hard as you want, develop as many talented players as you like, it doesn't matter. You can't compete with clubs that have infinite resources. So here we are. English football is the richest league in the world. The most watched. The most competitive, supposedly. And it's completely broken. The same money that saved it in 1992 is destroying it in 2024. Because that money didn't just fix the problems, it created new ones, bigger ones. The stadiums are safe now, but they're empty of real fans. The football is brilliant, but it's predictable. The league is global, but it's lost its soul. You can see it everywhere. Players celebrating goals with choreographed dances instead of genuine emotion because everything's manufactured for social media. Managers getting sacked after 10 games because impatient billionaires demand instant success. Clubs changing their badges and colors to appeal to international markets. Fans buying jerseys with betting sponsors plastered across the front. This isn't football anymore. It's content. It's a product. It's an industry. And maybe that's fine for some people. Maybe the trade-off is worth it. World-class football in world-class stadiums with world-class players. But something's been lost. That rawness, that unpredictability, that feeling that anything could happen because everyone was operating on roughly the same level. Now you watch a match between City and Luton and you already know what's going to happen. City will dominate possession, create 20 chances, score 3 or 4, and Luton will fight hard but ultimately have no chance. It's not competitive, it's just expensive versus cheap. The money saved English football from disaster. Absolutely. Without that Sky deal in 1992, the sport might have genuinely died in this country. The investment was necessary, the growth was deserved. But it didn't stop. It couldn't stop, because once you invite that much money into something, you lose control of it. And now we're living with the consequences. A league where 6 clubs have all the power, where ownership groups use football clubs as PR exercises, where ticket prices exclude the people who love the game first, where success is measured in net spend and revenue rather than passion and heart. English football is in a strange place right now. It's never been bigger or richer or more popular globally. But ask any longtime fan and they'll tell you something's wrong. Something's missing. That connection between club and community has frayed. The dream of a Leicester-style miracle feels impossible now because the financial gap is too large. The money saved English football, that's undeniable. But it also changed it into something unrecognizable. And maybe there's no going back. Maybe this is just what football is now. A global entertainment product that happens to be based in England. Maybe the next generation of fans won't even notice the difference because they never knew what it was like before. But for those who remember when football was smaller, scrappier, more dangerous, but somehow more real, it's hard not to feel like something important was traded away. The sport survived, but at what cost? That's the question nobody wants to answer. Because the truth is uncomfortable. The money saved English football, and the money ruined English football. Both things are true. Both things happened. And we're all just watching it unfold, hoping somehow it doesn't get worse, knowing that it probably will. Hit subscribe if you want more football stories like this.